So we had, I think it was on a scrapbook day, our, live and scrap and chat, and we have that, and it was good, but we thought it could be better. So we thought all scraps would like to have a better, a better experience for you. So we have this new tool here that has better capability and it has better quality, and it creates recording and we can participate, and our friends at Facebook can enjoy as well. So we are excited that we can bring also designers and they can show things like we're going to show today, and some other things we're going to just do layouts, but it's always to, get talking and get, a community together, and all Scraps wants to help you. And, we are very grateful for our community here. We have so many things going on at the site. So I want to give first an overview what's going on. And then I'm going to go to the spotlight and I'm going to show some things here from Vicki Robinson Designs. And then I'm going to pass the mic for her, and she's going to show you a lot of great stuff. So that's what we have planned for today, okay? So if you received the newsletter yesterday, and if you didn't, you should sign up for the newsletter over here at the top of the site. So first I want to highlight that we have two new guests here. We have the Urban Fairy, and she just released also a new collection yesterday. We have a lot of good things from her. You can see here 6 pages of products. They are all on sale. She has some great masks, papers, and we also have Viva Artistry with us for the month, and they have new collection as well. They have a lot of good things here. So I would take a look while they're here and enjoy what they're doing there. What's new here at the shop? You can see everything that is new here, new arrivals. Okay, so we have also a big sale going on for NBK Design. We had a webinar yesterday. If you didn't see, go to her Facebook. She has a big sale going on for her birthday. So 35% of the whole store, and 43% if you buy $43. So your cart is gonna go 43% off. We have some great new 52 inspirations here from Vic Stigl, the queen of word art. I'm very envy of her word arts. Another great set here. And we have some new things from Lynn Azek. I never know how to pronounce her name, and I'm so sorry. I know how it feels. So we have some new things from Flor Ju. NBK has a whole new collection. So if you go to her store, there's a whole new collection there. And we have some videos at the Scrap Facebook also that I forward there. So great stuff going on. I wanted to invite you also to go to our community tab here. And you have designer challenges, and we have several designer challenges going on. We have the birthday challenge for NBK, Anna Aspin's Lift, Scrapper Humber, and Vicki Robinson actually has her first challenge and going on. So I would check that. Courtney also has a template challenge, and also if you're not familiar, she gives the template there. And so we have a lot going on. Again, you go to community and you go to the forum, and then you have here designer challenge. We try to make simpler for you, very direct, not confusing anymore for you. And we have also the monthly challenge from the old scraps. So we have the designer, each designer, if they want to do their challenge, they can. And then the store has monthly challenges, okay? And last but not least, I would invite you to go to the blog and see the newest tutorials that we have. And I have a new tutorial here with Vicki Robinson cluster here because of the spotlight. And check it out. We have several tutorials. We have Christy Strickler doing hybrid. And we drew together, me and her, one kit 2 ways because she's a hybrid paper scrapper and I'm a digital scrapper. So we just want to give you new ideas how to use the products that we have in store. So talking about that, let's go to our spotlight, which is Vicki Robinson Designs. And I like about Vicki products, they have kind of a art journal feel, but with an elegant vintage vibe. So I would, it's really unique for me. So I would encourage you to take a look at some things she has on sale. She has some great brushes. And I want to talk about a little bit, if you are intimidated to do art journal, a very fun product that she has called Journal Starters. And I actually have a Facebook Live of another product of her that is a Create a Background PSD, which I'm going to show also today here. So the Journal Starters, and I'm going to show you this one here. It's a simple way, mini kit for you to create simple, fast art journal pages. And I'm going to show you here on Photoshop Elements. So let's get to Photoshop Elements. While I grab my water. So I have here one of the journal starters, and I wanted to show you really quick what I did here. So I can, pass the mic for Vicki. And so let me get started first showing you what comes in the kit, the mini kit. So I have here journal starter number 6. So as you can see in the mini kit, you have everything that you need to do a art journal page. So you have papers, you have some splatters, and some marks, some word art, and you can fast create an art journal page. Get your journaling if you want to, or just you can express whatever you want and be done with it. This is the other one that I got to use here, which is the journal starter number 5. So as you can see, it's very versatile, the things that comes with it. So what I did here, going back to Photoshop Elements, I created here this layout together with her make a background PSD file, which I have. If you go to all scraps and videos, I have a Facebook Live showing that, which has many textures and paints. All this, let me put my spotlight. So all these marks here that you see is from the Make a Background kit PSD file. So she has also a PSD and she has PNG in that file. So as you can see here, my layers, for example, if I put this layer back on, you're going to see it comes with all these textures, but I removed them. So it's very versatile. So I just opened the background maker, took off some of the textures, and I included just some things from the mini kit from the journal starters. As you can see here that I showed there. Here, I got this, and I got this dandelion here. And I colored them. I use the word arts as she comes. Then I just add this girl here from the kit, staring me. So if you already have kits, the good thing is that you can use this mini kit here. So I just grab the girl, And I think I just grabbed this word art here. And my art journal page was done. I could make a journaling over here. You could do that. But simple way to go to do our journal. Our journal doesn't have to be that complicated. And what I like about this is that you can reuse this in other layouts. You can reuse over and over. So my other example here is this, that I painted this girl, this angel. And I use this one is this mini kit here, Journal Starter number 6. So I grabbed here, you see the splatter, and I have here the background. And what I did is I grabbed from her kit, the clusters that I have the tutorial, time to renew clusters. I have the tutorial on the blog. So I just grabbed the clusters and put here. And from her kit, Express Yourself, I got this PNG here that you see on the side here. Okay, so I duplicated this paint here from the cluster on the other side. And I did, seriously, I did these 2 pages in 20 minutes. So, so very easy to accomplish our journal page. It looks really realistic to me, all the paints, and there is so many things here in the make a background that I could have used to give even more marks on the layout. You can see here these things that I removed, this gesso, and you have these little marks here. So I think the goal for us here is always for you to take all advantage of all the kits that you have and think about different ways to use them. So we want to help you to have different ways to use them, and that's what we wanted to accomplish at all scraps. So but Alec is saying that I am so fast, but I think the goal, and Vicki maybe can talk about that and confirm that. I think the goal of this mini kit is not to be overwhelming. You can really accomplish something really fast just with this mini kit, and we can start to create. I think if you practice them more, then I think the problem sometimes we think too much. We think it has to be, we think too much, and sometimes I don't have time to think that much.
That's exactly right, Jana. Hi, everybody. This is Vicki. The idea between those journal starters, they're super minis, meaning there's 2 papers and at least 8 elements in each kit. And the idea was, don't get intimidated by large art journaling kits. You don't need a lot. And just a couple of things put together, put a little journaling on it and call it done. That's what real art journaling is, and that's what you can do digitally. And what Jana is showing you here, the idea between this template, which I think has 15 layers or something, Jana, I think there were in there.
Yeah, there's a lot. So here's all the PNG that comes in the kit. She has a PSD, but also you have all the PNGs that you can then use on other layouts.
Exactly. The idea is that you can take bits and pieces from these art journals, these journal starters, or from these templates, and put them together to make sort of a mixed media artistry kind of page without really having to do any work.
Right. So, I think if you want to do pages faster, that is a good way to practice there. So, does anyone have any questions about the layouts or the products that I'm showing here? Okay. If you guys don't have, I'm gonna pass the screen now to Vicki Robinson so she can show you some good stuff. So you are the host now, Vicki. Do you see the...
Can you see me, Jana?
I don't see it yet. I see your camera, your mic is on, but your camera is still not working. If you go down there, you click start.
Share screen. How about we try that?
Yeah, you have to click share.
Not rocket science. There you go. Okay, let's see. How is this working?
Yes, great. We can see.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jana. You do a great job with this. We really appreciate this. You really need to check out Jana's tutorials if you haven't already done that. She's got a really cool one, as she said, with my clusters, my layered clusters on the OScraps blog. I'd also suggest if you haven't already looked at my designer spotlight, you might want to do that on the O blog because I've got a freebie layer template there for you. What you're looking at is my Time to Renew kit. And I thought that I would sort of explain a little bit about how this kit came to be. I retired from designing actually last year and immersed myself in a bunch of art classes. And all of a sudden, all my art mojo came back and I just had to start designing again. One of the things that I did is I took a class on watercolors. And this class, the idea of this class was to just put various color paints onto a piece of watercolor paper. And then when they dried, look to see if you could find, in this case, floral images that sort of spoke to you, shapes that sort of looked like flowers. And that's what I did. And I don't know if these are poppies or I don't know what they're supposed to be. They didn't have to be realistic, but I just took an ink pen and then started to find the flowers in this. When I showed this painting to some friends, they said, well, you need to make a digital kit out of this. And I thought, I don't know how I would do that. But what I realized was that the colors really spoke to me. I'm not really a pink person, and yet I really loved this. And I thought the flowers were kind of whimsical. So I just wanted to sort of give you a little idea of, maybe not how all designers work, but when I start with my mixed media work, my own art, this is what happens. What I did is I took that one image and I went through and I started cutting out those individual flowers that you see there, extracting them in Photoshop, and then moved them around and layered them and moved them around. And as you can see, I've got some masks here where I took out bits I didn't like. And what I ended up with, basically, was this. Now, that's a lot to look at. But what had occurred to me was this is a really pretty paper. And this is a lot of color and a lot of texture. And I could use that in my design. So if I go back here real quick, you'll see bits and pieces of that paper in my papers that come with my kit, and they form the texture for these flowers. And I used then the colors, just sort of all gelled. It sort of all came together just like that. Now, once I'd had this paper done, and let me actually show you what's really in this group. Once I had this paper done, I took it into Topaz Impressions, which is a plug-in for Photoshop, and I started to manipulate it. And what happens when you do that is you can get all sorts of cool versions of your picture. See how this one is so much more pastel and watercolor-like. Here's a black and white one with some texture. It was really kind of cool. When I got one that I liked, I think I even went a little further. Let me see here, I'll show you one here. You can even manipulate that paper so that the images are no longer really recognizable as flowers. So this is how I actually started that kit. I manipulated this, and then I took these papers and I used them as a basis for my elements. And what I thought I would show you today is a simple way that you can use papers that come with any given kit, whether they're crazy like this one or whether they're more subdued. You know how sometimes designers will include kits in papers and kits, and you'll look at it and go, what am I supposed to do with that? Well, I wanted to show you how you could use those papers to add a little bit of interest to your page and still not overwhelm your page. And let me show you a real quick way to do this. First, I'm going to show you in Photoshop, and then I'm going to switch over to Photoshop Elements because you can do the same thing there in a little different way. I'm just going to keep this paper open here, and I'm going to come up and do Edit, Define Pattern. I'm going to accept the name of this paper here as my pattern. Say OK. And now I'm going to switch back to this this page I've been working on. Oh, by the way, I thought you might be interested. This little lady here, she doesn't come with my kit. But in one of those many drawing classes that I took, art classes I took, they told us to be free and try to experiment with various types of implements to paint. And whether you believe it or not, I promise you, this is black paint and a water bottle cap. Seriously, I took a water bottle cap and tried my best to make a face out of it. And this is what I got. Isn't that cool? I was amazed at myself that it came out so well, but I promise you, black ink and a bottle cap. So back to what I was going to show you here. So I am going to add a new layer here. And in Photoshop CC, to add a style, you just double click on the layer. And I'm going to add a pattern overlay. And I'm going to add this pattern to this layer. That's the pattern that I just created here. Now I'm going to come over to my brush, my brushes. I'm going to pick one of my brushes here. This is from my Artie brush collection. Let's see if we're going to do this one. And you see that's a pretty big brush. I'm going to scale it down just a touch. But I'm going to go and add it to various places here. You seeing that okay? Matter of fact, I want to make sure you're actually hearing me. Jenna, can you make sure everybody's hearing me? I'm not talking.
We can hear you.
I'm talking in a vacuum here.
I was muted. Yeah.
Okay, so look what that did. Now, obviously, that brush, if I had just stamped it down, would have stamped in black. But by adding this pattern overlay, took a piece of paper that was very busy and I probably wouldn't have used as a background, but I've taken it and used it to add brushwork to my page. Let me do another one here. Maybe this one over here, yeah. And as long as I'm stamping down on this same layer here that has the pattern, I'm going to be doing that. So I've very quickly added a lot of very arty interest to this page, and I really haven't done anything more than used a paper that the designer actually included in the kit. Now let me just want to show you which paper did we do here. Let's go back to this pattern here, and let's use this one, which is sort of my original, sort of boosted up a little bit from Topaz. And I'm going to do that again. Edit, define pattern, accept the name, come back to my layout here. Oops, I want to close it. Come back here. I'm going to add another new layer. And this time, double click to add my pattern overlay, which is this one. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to choose this brush. This is from, I think this is from my vitamin C collection. And it's basically a brush of an inky doily. I'm going to stamp this one down, and you'll see how much more vivid the color is in this one. The first pattern was that one where I mucked with it in Topaz and didn't have much defined shape to it. This one is much more defined. I wanted to show you something that's really cool too. You can actually come back into this pattern, and as long as you have this adjustment open up here, I can actually move. Look at this. I'm on my document. I'm actually moving the pattern around till I get to something that I like. So, pretty cool. Don't you think that's pretty cool? Let me show you how to do the same thing in Photoshop Elements because it's a little different. Can I just, yeah.
Can you try to put the spotlight?
Go
to annotation.
Annotate.
Yeah, and then
spotlight.
Yeah, spotlight, and then click the spotlight again. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, ladies, do you need me to do any of that over, or did you get all that? You're okay there?
They got it.
Okay. Let me, can I just switch over to my Photoshop Elements now?
Yes, you just go share screen and then you choose which window you want.
New share?
You click
Yeah,
share.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. It came up here. Photoshop Elements.
We can see.
Good. Let me move this out of the way here. Oops. Okay. So this is that's the same pattern paper that we were using before. And just as we did in Photoshop, I'm going to come up to Edit, Define Pattern, accept the name. And now I'm going to come back over to my page. This is the same page I had before. Now this is where things are different in Photoshop Elements. You don't have the ability to manipulate the styles as you do in CC. So what we're going to do first is I'm at the top layer of my stack here. I'm going to click on the adjustments here, and I'm going to add a pattern. Now it's going to default to the pattern that I just loaded, which is fine. That's what I wanted. And it's going to fill my entire screen. I'm going to click right below that. I'm going to add a new layer. And now I'm going to clip this pattern adjustment to my new layer. So now I'm hidden because I don't have anything in my layers empty right now. I'm going to come over to my brushes. And I'm going to choose one of these brushes again. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So it's a few more steps in Photoshop Elements, but you can accomplish the same thing. Any questions about that at all?
I have another tip that would be, instead of creating a clipping mask, you can also invert that mask there that she has on white on the pattern. Now it's clipped, it's not going to show, but you can invert to black, then it's not going to show, and you can instead stamp on the layer mask. So you can do the same thing, but
yep. There are lots of different ways in Photoshop.
Lots, and 300 types of things.
Yeah, for every one way you know, there's 6,000 other ways to do it. But sure, that's and probably a little cleaner way. And I'll tell you why that might be a little cleaner is because when you did it the way that I do it, you need to move those two layers together if you should move them around in your layers panel. And the way that Jana did it, it's not necessary. You could just be moving that one layer. I just thought that it would be really fun for you to try this on your own. So
Vicki, Elizabeth is asking if you can repeat a little bit slower on the PSE. This just what you did with the pattern again.
Let's hide these again. And actually making the pattern?
I think she just went when you put the pattern layer there again.
Okay, so I came to the top of my layer stack. And I'm clicking on the adjustment layer icon. It's the circle that's half black and half white. And then I'm saying pattern. This will always default to whatever the last pattern was that you created. If you wanted to use a different pattern, you could use this drop down and then just choose another pattern from here. And then you say, okay. Now it's filled your screen, and obviously that's not what we want. So what my method was to insert a new layer beneath the pattern adjustment layer and then group them, clip them together. Alternatively, what Jana is saying that you can do, suggesting, sorry to get rid of that one, is to actually click on this layer mask so that it's active, and you can actually fill it with black. And when you do that, it's exactly the same thing as what I just did, just probably a quicker way of actually doing it. I'm going to fill it with white again so that I can, so that I can show you what I had in mind. Get rid of this layer. Add a blank one back in. Did I mess myself up here? No, there we go. So now I've taken a brush and then stamp down on my black layer which effectively, did I mess this up? Maybe I have too many things showing here.
It's clipped to the underneath. You have to unclip.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Got myself distracted there. There you go. So let's start this again. Let's delete this layer. Add a new one. Oh, this works out. I always forget that things are just a little, oh, good girl. I forget that things are just enough different in Photoshop elements that you really need to pay attention to what you're doing here. I'm gonna delete this layer. And now I'm gonna clip this back. There we go. And now with my brush, I'm stamping down here.
The layer is not visible. The layer is not visible.
Yeah, the beauty of live webinars. There you go. Okay. And so that you can practice this on your own, I'm going to have a download for you that I'll put the link into when we're finished here, that gives you these 2 pattern papers that I made, and actually all of these little brushes that you see here. A couple of brushes from my Artie Brushes set, and then one from my Vitamin C, which was this, doily looking thing. Oh, Vicki Jean, there you go. You know what? Since I have you here, I thought I would show you something else. I can get rid of these layers because it's making me nuts. Delete this one and delete this one. I have sort of fallen in love with brushes that I'm seeing people doing that are called dynamic brushes. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with what they are, but our friend Nicole at NBK Designs has really got me addicted to this, and I've been playing with it. Photoshop, when Photoshop talks about brushes, what they're really talking about are stamps. The most common way we use a brush is to stamp it down once on your page. Let's actually give this a color here so that you can actually see it. That's what a brush is to Photoshop. But if you are a painter and try to do some artistic work like I do, I think of brushes as something you actually are stroking along your page. And what Nicole does so beautifully, and which I've just been playing with, is making brushes that you actually paint with on your page. And I'm going to show you one of those. I'm giving you this one in your download here. I've been experimenting with this. I'm calling it a music painting brush. And check this out. I'm on a new layer, chosen that brush. Look at this. Instead of stamping once, which would give you something you can hardly even see, I'm actually just dragging my mouse around to paint on my page. I am so totally in love with these, I cannot stand myself. I've spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out how to do this on my own, and I just absolutely love it. It's going to change the way I do my pages, and I'm hoping that you'll love them too, and I'm going to give you this one in the set to play with, and you can let me know what you think. And if you really, really love these, it's fallen as much in love with them as I have, you're going to want to check out Nicole NBK Designs, her brush sets. They're called dynamic because there's some settings we can change that control how the brush appears, and it's meant to be something that it is not that it's dynamic because it's not static like this one image like I showed you when I used this brush, as opposed to a static brush here. And Nicole does that really, really, really well. So I hope you take a look at those. Can I answer any questions for any of you? Let me go ahead and put the link in here for the download.
Yeah, and we passed the time a little bit, but it's okay. We are going to be recorded, so if you have to leave, don't worry about it. We are just finishing. There is the link.
There's the link, everybody, for the download. That's a link to my Dropbox account. If it asks you if you want to create a Dropbox account, you can just skip that. You don't need that. You can just download that directly. Shall I pass this back over to you, Jana?
Yeah, you can right click and put as a host.
Where do I do that?
You right click my name on panelist.
Thank you so very much for joining us, everybody. I really, really enjoyed this, and I hope you like our new format. And thank you, Jana, for taking this on for us.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so I just wanted to finish, remind you guys that we are going to have this every month. We're gonna try to, and the way to know this is following our Scraps at Facebook and also at the blog, where we can where we're gonna see the links and everything there that you need to join us. And I would go to O Scraps Facebook and click on videos. We have there this webinar again, but I'll edit and post a better video. And we have a webinar that we did yesterday, actually talking about brushes. I just did a webinar, all doing a painted canvas with dynamic brushes. So, and there's a lot going on. Join us. And we are so grateful and happy that you guys came today. And I thank you, Vicki, for the wonderful tutorial there. It was great. We learned a lot. It was very beautiful. So we hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much, everyone.